Hey lovelies, Lisa here with another hashtag 78 days. And today we're focusing on the Eight of Wands. And funnily enough, Eight of Wands is this card that's all about, I love the way Arthur Waite puts it, great haste, great hope, speed towards an end which promises assured felicity, generally that which is on the move. You know, that sense of life hurtling forward, of projects coming toward fruition, a sense of news being about to arrive, a sense of this powerful movement forward, 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 life moving fast, that which is on the move. Funnily enough, life was kind of moving fast yesterday. Things were kind of on the move. And yesterday was the day I was supposed to do the Eight of Wands. So guess what didn't get filmed yesterday? So today I'm going to be doing Eight of Wands, and then either right after I film this, I'll do the Nine of Wands, or later today or some such, to keep us on track, because, you got to stay on track, right? I mean, 78 Days of Tarot are not going to film themselves. Okay, so here's the thing. This is a card, well, the whole freaking suit of wands is, the suit that just instantly, intuitively speaks to me in so many ways. And as I was saying yesterday, or 2 days ago now, when I was talking about the Seven of Wands, which I've always interpreted in terms of that sense of, well, actually in the Tote system, in Crowley's deck, the Seven of Wands keyword is valor. And I think that's always how I've interpreted this card. The Seven of Wands is this card of a kind of valorous, knightsy, chivalric, like, I will defend you all from the hordes who are arising. And that the ways in which this figure is on high, attacked, and outnumbered, but nonetheless with the advantage. I guess just for me, I always read that through what it means to be besieged, when you're on the ramparts of a castle and folks are trying to take you down. So it is really, for me, this card that's about this energetic movement of the self on behalf of a community. And I mentioned how, for me, the Seven of Wands is really this turning point where the Suit of Wands is inviting us to see exactly how we might turn our energy, this internal sense of, vigor and fire, how we might really turn that outward, turn the spark outward. And we saw a similar thing happening in the Suit of Pentacles, or Discs, where, about the same place in the deck, the Six of Pentacles, showing us this movement away from that Five of Pentacles sense of scarcity and poverty toward this sense of how do we balance and measure out our resources so that we can give to others. So that movement from the inner outer happening in the final cards of each suit is something that we're going to see as we go through the whole minor arcana. And so then that movement happens in the Seven, and in the Eight it's like whew, things gather speed. So for me, that sense of alacrity and speed is also a sense of the ways in which the fire of the wands catches, and now, we might have more energy than we know what to do with. And that sense of, of there being a lot that we've now unleashed, that comes back to us, I think, by the Ten of Wands, which is, with its characteristic sense of oppression and burden, with the figure holding all of the wands on his back. But let's stay in this moment of the Eight. Now, I've gotten the Eight a bunch of times in my life as a reminder to slow down. I'm very impatient. I tend to move quickly. One of the reasons, I've said this a whole bunch of times if you've watched my videos, that I'm a klutz and I'm clumsy and I'm not very crafty. We're looking here, by the way, at the Pagan Otherworlds deck, that unbelievably beautiful deck by Usi. This deck is a masterpiece. Anyway, coming back to this notion of me being uncrafty, it's because I'm clumsy because I move too fast. You know, I do things too quickly. It's hard for me to slow down. So we'll come back to this card in a second. So, you know, I often get the 8 as a reminder, not as a kind of, when I'm reading for myself, not as a kind of encouragement that projects are going to come to fruition, but actually as a reminder. Oh my gosh, isn't she beautiful? To slow the fuck down. And when I've read it for others, I've often read the card as being about patience. You know, that precisely, you know, this sense of movement might also be inviting us, like the Seven of Pentacles, that phrasing was bad, reminding us about patience. So here's the thing. I mean, this deck, you know, this is a deck that is pippish in style, but the pips all bespeak that Rider-Waite symbolism, you know. So we get, just going through them again, we get the sort of opening of the gate. We get that sense of what happens when, you know, the third wand is planted, the third stick is planted, this sense of the project getting anchored, a sense of commitment. Here the ships on the horizon, the ships out to sea or returning from sea, our projects are en route. The sense of home and hearth and anchoring our energies in commitment toward a path forward. And then this interesting, you know, what is this structure? This isn't a useful structure. It's not like the house in the back. It's like this, you know, it's just fascinating to me how the artists have depicted the interpersonal striving and competitiveness of the 5 with just this combination of wands that aren't doing anything. And then the sense of the garlanded highest wand. And I love this, you know, this, again, this sort of movement from the individual who succeeds to the individual who protects. And then the 8. Okay, so here's the thing. The creators of the Usui Pagan Otherworlds do something very simple with this card, a card that is already pippish in the traditional Rider-Waite. They do something very simple. They switch the direction of the wands. So here with the Rider-Waite Smith imagery with the 8 of Wands, because we're, you know, in English we read from left to right, the only real way, the natural way to read this image is to read this as an image where the wands are coming in from above and they're landing. So it's an image of, you know, our projects, literally that word means to throw forward, our projectiles, our will, our energy that's been launched is now whoosh, coming in for a landing. That sense of great haste, great hope, life on the move that A.E. Waite talks about, here we're seeing everything coming to fruition. But in the Pagan Otherworlds deck, simply by reversing the direction of the wands, now again reading from left to right, these wands aren't coming in for a landing, they're being launched, right? They're being launched into the sky. And we don't know, you know, are they gonna come down again? Are they gonna pierce the firmament and keep going, you know, until they burst the heart of the divine herself? Like, what is this an image of? All we know is that the energy has been unleashed and set forth. We know that that turning, that spark of the heart has moved out. And so in the Pagan Otherworlds, this image becomes a kind of invitation for faith, like to give it up, to give our offering up and out, to put that energy in motion toward the heavens, to allow what is arising in us to be free and go where it needs to go. It becomes less an image of things landing and more an image of things launching. And that to me makes a huge difference in this card and helps me see the ways in which the invitation of the tarot at this point is an invitation to set it loose, to allow that emergence of energy and will and intentionality and heartfulness and mindfulness, an invitation to let that go forth, offer it up, pay it forward. Okay, I think that's all I got today. Well, I'm going to have a little bit more because I have to do the 9 of Wands. You know, yeah, another day, another dollar. Okay. Love to you all. Thank you, as always, for watching, and thank you for your practice.